I graduated college about a year ago, and upon graduating, I remember being so excited that I had a job lined up for after school and that I was going to begin the next stage of my life. I'm going to be honest, I didn't make the most of my time in college. A lot of it was spent developing bad habits, playing video games, and just hanging out like most other college students. As the first 2-3 years went by of school, honestly, didn't really have my shit together, but I just had a feeling, something told me that everything was gonna be alright after I graduated. My life was gonna be set because I had a college degree. I was gonna have a high paying job, and I was gonna live the life I always wanted to live, but I didn't put in any work for it. Now, while all this was going on, I knew I wanted to make a lot of money. Ever since I was a young boy, actually, I've always wanted to be rich. I've always looked at cars, always look at these huge houses, and I'd always tell my mom, you know what, when I grow up, I'm gonna have that. And she'd always tell me, are you crazy? That's $1 million house, that's $1 million car, how are you gonna get that? But in the back of my head, I'll always think, you know what, that sounds ridiculous. How did these people get it? Same way other people got it. If other people are able to do it, then I know I can. Never followed it up with much work though. This carried on into college. Whenever someone would ask me what I wanted to be after I finished university or what career I wanted to get into, I never really had a clear answer myself. I always think, hey look, I just want to have a job that's comfortable, that's gonna make me a few $100,000 a year, and that was gonna allow me to afford everything I wanted to have. I was figuring things out like most other college students. All I knew is that it started with getting a job after graduating. Now fast forward to senior year, 3-4 months before graduation, and I have no job. During winter break of my senior year, I had also worked a terrible warehouse job for Amazon. I mean, the worst job you can think of. We were in a warehouse all day with these bright lights, even at nighttime. There was a freezer that they would send you to pack meat and chicken, and this really gave me a hard reality check and a slap in the face. Over the next few months though, I really got my shit together, finally, and I secured a job for after graduation, so I thought I did it. Finished college, I have my degree now, and I got a nice corporate job. I know that felt like a super long intro, but I just had to set the scene. Now, fast forward to August when I finally started my 9 to 5. And this is the place that most of you watching this video right now are probably in. You finally got that job you always dreamed of, but you just feel like there is something missing. You feel like this isn't what you're meant to do. I never imagined that the rest of my life would be me condemned to sitting in a small cubicle all day, every single day from 9 to 5. Now I feel like in our generation, a lot of people are getting this feeling at a much younger age than in past generations. I mean, you got high schoolers now, teenagers saying they don't want to work in an office, they don't want to have a corporate job, they don't want to have a 9 to 5. But they can't really speak to it until they've lived this experience. I've been in my role, my current role, for about 9 to 10 months. Started in August. It is currently June. It honestly does not provide that stability and that security and safety that you would think it would give you. With how the economy currently is and the layoffs and the recession, you can get fired any day. They won't even give you a 2-week notice anymore. That really made me think about how previously or generations ago, starting a business was a very risky move. But now working a safe job seems just as risky. What is the alternative? What alternatives do we have? It may take some time to figure out your true purpose or what it is exactly that you want to accomplish in life. And I'm right there with you. I'm not making this video as someone who has everything figured out or knows what they want to really dedicate their life to. But as I sit at work, sometimes I can't help but think there's definitely something more out there for me. This is not what I was made to do, and this is not how I'm going to live the rest of my life. And that is the first step. Figuring out that you can't be a slave to this for the rest of your life. Figuring out that, hey, I'm gonna find something. I'm gonna find a solution. Now, the important part here is that you act on this feeling. Now, if you just sit there and you feel like, hey, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 forever, but then after finishing work, you go to the bar and have a few drinks, and then the next day the cycle repeats again. Sit there depressed in the cubicle, go out to eat with your coworkers after work, and it repeats over and over and over again. You need to stop that. For me, I just reached a point where looking forward to the weekend, to watching a sports game, or hanging out, or going out, just no longer excited me. I wanted to work on my purpose day in and day out. You know what, guys? I'm going to tell you a story. This previous summer, before I started working my job, I had the idea of starting an online business, an e-commerce business. You know, your very typical drop shipping business. Well, actually, it wasn't drop shipping. I did print on demand. But anyways, summer before starting my job, I was just working DoorDash, you know, to make some extra money. And I was working on my online business. And when I tell you, that was the happiest I have ever been. Now, my dropshipping business was not making a ton of money. It was not making me $10,000 a month. It wasn't making me anything near that, nowhere near enough money for me to quit a job and to work on it full time. But I'll tell you what, the feeling of purpose, of fulfillment that I would have every single night before I go to bed, how good I would sleep knowing that I worked on something that's mine. I minded my own business. I wasn't working for someone else. I wasn't hustling for someone else. I wasn't grinding for someone else. I was working for something that I was building myself. Many times when you tell other people that you don't want to work a 9 to 5 anymore, you don't want to work a traditional job, they'll tell you, oh, you're just lazy. Oh, this is what everyone has to do. But trust me, we are not lazy. When you find that thing that truly interests you, that thing that you're truly passionate about, you will be happy to work 10 hours every single day on that project. I remember when I was working on that business, I would wake up and I would be so excited to get to work. Imagine that feeling. Do you ever wake up in the morning and get excited to go to your 9 to 5? I know I don't have that feeling now. When I go to my office job, I am never excited in the morning to go work. The weekends on Sunday, I dread that Monday is gonna start the next day. But when I was working on my business, I even lost track of the days. I lost count. All I know is tomorrow I get to work on my passion. Tomorrow I get to work on something that I really, really love. And that passion is what's gonna drive you. It's gonna drive you through boredom. It's gonna drive you through difficulties. When I first started out the first month, I didn't make a single sale. But guess what? I was having so much fun. It was so enjoyable. Versus now, where you might live this mundane life, this safe life of getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, but it's just not the same. Now, I'm not telling you to go quit your job. What I am saying is that it is important to be in action, and we need to try to find our purpose while working our normal day job, right? Don't quit your day job until your purpose or your passion is making you the same amount of income or more, right? Because at the end of the month, that rent is still due. And as long as that 9 to 5 guarantees that you're gonna get that payment at the end of the month to pay your rent, then you should stick to it. But you need to be willing to sacrifice. You're not gonna have the normal life. If you want to achieve a spectacular life, you want to be someone who works on their own schedule, wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to be a millionaire, you're not gonna be able to work your 9 to 5 then go hang out with friends every day of the week. You're not gonna be able to spend your Saturdays and Sundays going out to the club, drinking, smoking, whatever it is that you may do. You're gonna need to sacrifice. Because I'm in this stage right now. I haven't made it, but I'm recognizing some things, or I'm learning some things that can benefit someone else who's trying to go on the same journey. And something that I've really, really learned and tried to practice as much as possible is sacrifice and delaying gratification. You might not have found your purpose yet. I think I found mine. That is to make these YouTube videos. You may not have found yours yet, right? You can try a few things, but once you find something that you feel initial affinity to, stick to it. This is another thing, the power of focus, focusing on one craft and putting in a ton of hours. I discovered I wanted to do YouTube a few months ago, and ever since then I've stuck to it. I've known that I'm not gonna get a ton of views. I know that I'm not gonna get 1 million views in a year. I know that I might not have a viral video for the next 1 or 2 years, but it's the passion that's driving me. Some days I don't feel like recording, but I know, hey, this is what I wanna do. I wanna eventually be able to quit that 9 to 5. That passion is going to drive you through boredom, which is the most difficult thing to go through on your path to success. Now, you need to find something that you're going to be in for the long term. We're playing the long game here. If you want to do YouTube, if you want to start a business, whatever it may be, don't expect dramatic or drastic changes in a month. I used to be a personal trainer, so I love to give this example. Let's say you're eating extremely healthy and training every single day of the week. Are you going to see drastic results after 7 days? Are you going to see drastic results after 2 weeks? Sometimes it may take you 2, 3, 4 months. It's the same with any other grind. Now, other grinds, the time span might be longer. For example, on YouTube, it might take you 3, 4 years to finally break through. Go to your favorite YouTuber and go back to their first video. 99% of the time, you're gonna find that first video was 3, 4 years ago and it was absolutely trash. First year is just you honing that skill. It's just you finding your voice, finding that personality that you display in front of the camera. It's actually another thing. I've gone completely off topic here, but hey, I'm just talking. Check this out. A lot of people might say, hey, I don't have a good personality for YouTube, or I wouldn't be a good YouTuber. There's no such thing as not having a good personality for YouTube, or someone who's not built for social media, or someone who's too shy. Because think about this, do you act the same way with your parents or with your grandparents as you do with your friends? No, it's two different personalities of yours. It's still you. You're not being fake. It's just your personality depending on the environment that you're in. It's the same with YouTube. You need to find that YouTube personality, your unique YouTube personality. And once again, that comes from my previous point, that comes from practice and sticking to it and focusing on it. Eventually, you're gonna get better at speaking to the camera. Eventually, you're gonna find your front of the camera personality, the jokes that you make, your demeanor, your charisma, the way your body language is in front of the camera. It's not gonna be like anyone else's. And that being said, guys, I know I rambled. This was just a free, you know how free writes are when you just write everything that comes to your mind. It's like a free talk YouTube video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And I'm staying on this grind. I'll see you guys in the next video.